Hi. So, first thing is, I gotta admit, I don't know how people are using faceted search interfaces to look for health information. If I knew that answer, then I wouldn't be giving this talk. What I'm really here for tonight is to share some ideas and look for opportunities to collaborate with people. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity. So, I study search interfaces. I study search interface design. How it affects user experience in searching, and particularly on how we, I particularly study faceted search interfaces. So I've looked at studies of web search, studies of faceted interfaces in library catalogs, and over the past few years I've learned a bit about how people use these interfaces, how students use them, how other professionals use them. But one of the things that is really interesting to me is how this would work in the medical domain. So one of the challenges that people face, patients face when they are grappling with illness or even just general aging or general health issues at any point in life, is how you find information about it. One way that people go, obviously, is online. And so what I'm interested in is looking at how the very specific aspects of search interfaces can impact how they're doing. So these are some examples of faceted search interfaces in some health sites that I've seen. In case you're not familiar with what a faceted search interface is, I should mention, they are the little categories that are often on the left side of your search results that show up that you can just click on to narrow the search results down. So if you get a lot of results, you can click them and narrow them. It's an alternative to issuing a new query, and it helps people. We know that they help in a lot of different ways in terms of helping people to refine their searches. They're particularly useful when people are not exactly sure what they're looking for. If they're not familiar with terminology, if they get a lot of results, if they're not sure. There's a number of things that over the years we've learned about these tools. They're not a panacea, and one of the challenges that we're looking for is what's the right way to use them to help people. So one of the things this is an example of a library catalog faceted search interface where we've studied how how students in particular use the facets for doing sort of open-ended searching tasks. And we used a number of techniques to analyze how they use the different components of the interface. So the main results part, the facets, the query box. And what we've done is we use eye tracking techniques, if you've ever seen any eye tracking results. We use log analysis, we do direct observation to try to understand how people use these tools. And the question that I have, and I'm working with a woman in BOCE over at University of Maryland. We're designing a study now that is going to try to look at a few of these questions, and that is, are faceted search interfaces really helpful for people? And particularly, are they really helpful for a specific population of people? Older adults are one of the populations that we're interested in looking at. Older adults have different backgrounds, different skills than the general web population. There may be very well, and I think there's a lot of potential for using them, but the question is, how do they work in that situation? Also, are there differences in how searchers use these tools for different tasks or different topics? So, if they have, let's use two, if somebody has a very serious illness, they may look for information in one way. If somebody has arthritis, normal aging issues, they may look for information in another way. So we're hoping to undertake some studies a study this fall to specifically look at these tools, and hopefully we can find and I think tools like Medline Plus are a good example of the kind of leading edge tools that we're interested in understanding. So anyway, that's where I'll leave it, and hopefully we'll have a chance to chat later.